values that may supersede the kind of the Gen X, Gen Y kind of stuff, right? So if you have a Gen Y immigrant who comes from, you know, somewhere, wherever, they're going to come possibly with more those stronger immigrant values, which means you work hard, you know, you do what your boss says, and you prove yourself, right? And you know that you're going to do the best that you can. And I've seen a lot of this even in the Asian community. But, you know, is somebody who is a, you know, are they then going to be perhaps have something that's more in common with a baby boomer immigrant than they would with their Gen Y American-born counterparts? There may be some similarities, mainly because of the technologies and other things like that. But you know, the technical natives, and depending on how they grow. But that's just something I wanted to throw out for consideration. I know we're going to talk about more about that this afternoon. And then I also want to get back to this question about the work-life balance, and I just want to kind of throw out this idea. I heard a speaker once said, you know, work-life balance is what we define it as, despite what I just said about, you know, women defining it differently and being able to do something differently. I think we also need to be able to define what work-life balance is for ourselves too. Because what work-life balance to me, and it may be okay that I am okay with working until 8 p.m. at night, but for somebody else, work-life balance may be something about, I need to be home at 5 o'clock because, you know, I have other responsibilities. So, you know, it's not always going to be 50-50. You know, depending on where you are in your life, it could be 60-40, 70-30, but later on, you know, maybe when you're in your 40s or 50s, it has to become 40-60. But that's something that you have to work out, I think, for yourself, be clear about it, and then have conversations with the folks that you work with. And I think that's what gets back to what Tisa was saying. I think sometimes we forgot that we just need to talk to each other about these things and have these simple conversations about, you know, so we don't have to have, I mean, the mentoring programs are great, but what happened to the conversations that we should be asking of each other? What is it that we want out of our time in the company, out of our careers? You know, how can you help me? You know, how can I help you? Those kinds of things. And sometimes just something as simple as having a conversation is oftentimes forgotten.
Great. Andrea, I know we're running out of time, so I'm going to let you give your last final thoughts here, and then we're going to open it up for Q&A.
You know what? I want to share something that happened. I have 3 lovely, wonderful women in the room that I did a panel with at the NCLR conferences last June. And I don't know if you remember, Anita, our class today. Do you remember the young woman who stood up and asked, you know, I worked really hard to get where I am. I'm the first person in my family to go to college. And, you know, I'm looking for someone that I can envision, so that I can envision that success, right? Someone up there who I can envision. She said, but it's so hard to get their time. They're so busy. They work so hard themselves, and they're still working hard. Do you remember what I said? I said, shame on them, right? Because you know what? Nobody gets to a place of success without help. Everybody gets it. And so if you can't turn around and help somebody else up, that's bad karma.
On that note, we're going to open it up for Q&A. Yes.
So I was really interested in coming to this panel because I'm curious to see what you guys are seeing. I'm curious about the numbers, and here's why. We were hearing a lot about, oh, well, there's this program and there's that program, and people are seeing things, and people are kind of starting to change. We've now got 15 female CEOs in the Fortune 500. But I think there's another trend as well, which is people are just choosing not to fight that path, not to fight that fight anymore. And they're saying, look, we're going to create something different. And if you look at the commission study that came out on Latina lawyers, you know, and I'm a Latina lawyer myself, people are fleeing the large law firms. And you might go for a few years, get that experience, and then they're like, the heck with this. We don't want to beat our heads against the wall. We don't want this lifestyle in any way, shape, or form. The law firms aren't changing fast enough, and so we're going to take off and do our own thing. And so I'm curious, yeah, corporations are shifting, but we've also got a recession that just laid off a ton of people. What are you really seeing? Are they changing fast enough? What are the numbers? What do we think is going to happen realistically in the next 5 years?
Well, the Hispanic National Bar was just in Minneapolis, so we were there talking about some of these issues, and the reality is corporations, their biggest issue is gonna be retention. It's not gonna be recruitment, it's gonna be how do I retain you, how do I keep you? And entrepreneurship is gonna be one of the biggest things people do, especially around attorneys. I mean, I know like 5 attorneys and they all have their own, from 2 Latinas, 3 Latinos, and it's like, they started inside and said, how am I hitting my head against the wall? I think it's the companies that want to keep those people and that really make them feel, not only you're special, but I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to mentor you, I'm going to grow you, and here's your path to success. That's the key. I do training for first-time supervisors. So it's the first time they become a supervisor and they're managing people. And I start out the meeting by saying, why do people leave companies? Leave the managers. And say they're going to leave because of you. So let's start talking about that. Okay, that's how I start the training session, to make them understand that you're the reason people leave companies. And I think the right companies, again, really pay attention to that, because the biggest issue is not that they're going to lose it to the competitor. They're going to lose it to being an entrepreneur. And the economy's kind of changing up and down. It depends what industry you're in and where I mean, I don't think too many people are going to go out and compete and build their own rockets, you know. But there's going to be people out there going to make their own food lines and go out and produce them. So it all depends what you're doing.
I definitely agree. That was the first thing I thought of, is that people will opt out. People already are, you know, opting out. And you talk about the legal field. I mean, that's, you know, very, very challenging. Forget diversity. Culturally, you know, culturally, it's a challenge when you work for a firm, as you know, right? Because you, mentoring is not innate in that business model. I mean, really, not forget the culture, but in the business model, because I'm trying to get the business over here. So I'm not gonna open up my secrets to you. So the business model, it makes it very difficult for any type of development and nurturing, forget diversity. And so that's just gonna be a challenge, but then also the lifestyle, you know, there. You know, it's interesting because I'm thinking globally as well. And I don't have the numbers, but I have heard of trends that more people are actually leaving, right, the US to work other places. And I wonder if we will continue to see that more because of, you know, better quality and options and growth, much more than we have in the past, as in a way of opting out as well.
Matter of fact, we have our finance team is going to look at our insurance rates, and especially when we look at the age group of 50 plus. How many of those folks are not having health-related issues? So as an employee of IBM, I actually have incentive programs today to actually have a program to stay healthy. And if I adhere to that program, I actually get a check from IBM. So they are encouraging. As a matter of fact, we now have Weight Watchers. We now have a group of different programs, both for remote employees as well for on-site employees. Again, I stress, it's empowerment. That individual has to make time, and I think this panel has stressed that today. If you're working 60 hours a week, and you're putting your job first and yourself second, the answer is simple: you're going to explode. You know, there's just no way around it. You know, I do find that at times, because I do have a global job, I'm working on the clock. You know, I take calls at 4 in the morning because I have folks in Germany I deal with, and then I'm up until 9 o'clock because I'm dealing with folks in India. But IBM allows me to say, plan your day. If you gotta take a nap at 4 o'clock because you're gonna be working 9 p.m., take it. But it's up to you. And I think the key here is accountability. We're all managing by objectives. And again, the 60-hour-a-week model is all it comes down to, am I mismanaging my time? And again, at IBM, we look at those numbers and say, why are you working 60 hours? Can you do it in 40? Where are you spending your time? I think technology has been a curse, to be honest with you. The fact we're on BlackBerries, I see people at movie theaters doing text messages. I see young kids, my daughter, at 1 in the morning is responding to a text message. Well, what in the world's going on? You know? Oh, I got beat. I don't care.